Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, I'm Aprilia Kusumaningrum from TBA 6A. Here I will explain about poem. I will explain the definition, the element, and figurative language. The first is the definition. In literature, you will hear poem and poetry. What is poem and what is poetry? Well, poem is a piece of writing in which the words are arranged in a separate lines, often ending in rhyme, and are chosen for their sound for the images and ideas they suggest. And poetry is the process of creating a literary piece using metaphor, symbols, and ambiguity. Well, what do you think about the difference between poem and poetry? So the difference between poem and poetry is the process, while poem is the end result of process. And then elements of poems. Elements of poem are form of poem, rhyme scheme, rhythm, repetition, and imagery. The first is form of poems. A poem is made up of lines and stanza. Lines is a group of words that goes from the left to the right. And stanza is a group of lines that are separated by a space. Here the example of poem from Lewis Carroll. Now look at the red color. The red color is called lines. How doth the little crocodile is the first line, improve his tiny tail, this is the second line, and pour the waters of Nile is the third line, on every golden scale is the fourth line, and etc. And now look at the blue colors. The blue colors is called stanzas. The first stanza is from how doth the little crocodile up to on every golden scale. And the second stanza is from how cheerfully he seems to grin up to with gently smiling jaws. And the first stanza and the second stanza is separated by a space. The next is rhyme scheme. Rhyming words are words that has the same ending sound. They are found at the end of lines in poems. Look at the example. I had a cat who was so fat, he could not sit as he did not fit. The first line, I had a cat, ended with the word cat. And the second line ended with the word fat. The third line ended with the word sit. As he did not fit ended with the word fit. Cat and fat, sit and fit. So the first line and the second line has the same ending sound, cat and fat. So the rhyme scheme is A. Now the third line and the fourth line have the same ending sound, sit and fit. So they have same ending sound, B. So the rhyme scheme in this poem is A, B. And the next is rhythm. Rhythm can be described as the beat and pace of a poem. So rhythm is the musical sound of a poem. Rhythm is created by a pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables in a line or stanza. Rhythm can help to strengthen the meaning of words and ideas in a poem. Now look at the example. Apple, banner, twinkle. In word apple have two syllables. The first syllable is ap and the second is pol. The first syllables was stressed. The second syllables was unstressed. The first syllables that stressed is pronounced more strongly. So, apple, apple, apple. The same like apple, banner has two syllables and the first syllables was stressed and the second was unstressed. Banner, banner, banner. And then twinkle, twinkle. Okay. The next is repetition. Repetition is when words, phrases, or lines are repeated or used more than once in the poem. We use repetition for emphasis. For example, I went out with my doggy, the doggy and myself. He did not want to play, he only wanted me. Doggy, doggy, he. Here, the word doggy is repeated. Also, the word he is repeated. Why do you think the author repeated the word doggy and he? Well, it's because he wants to emphasize that the poem is about doggy. And then, imagery. Imagery is element in a poem that sparks of sense. So when we read the poem, we can imagine, we can feel what the author is conveying. Look at the example. The candy melted in her mouth, and swirls of bittersweet chocolate, and slightly sweet but salty caramel blended together on her tongue. You can imagine it, right? Okay, the next is figurative language. What is figurative language? Figurative language is a language that isn't real, but is meant to paint a picture or emotion more clearly. There are some common figurative language. The first is metaphor. Metaphor is a word or phrase that is applied to an object or action which is not literally applicable. For example, my wife is a beautiful flower. It doesn't mean that his wife is a flower. No. It means that he's beautiful is so beautiful like a flower. And then the dog is a monster is not mean that dog is a monster. The dog is animal, right? But he's afraid of dogs, so he called dog is a monster because he's afraid. Okay, next is simile. Simile is making comparison between two unlike objects using the word like or as. For example, he is as strong as an ox. It is as cold as ice. She is singing like an angel. Next is personification. Personification is giving something that is not alive human-like qualities. For example, the candle danced in the wind. The wind sang through the trees. The candle cannot dance. The wind cannot sing, right? Next is hyperbole. Hyperbole is an over-exaggeration. For example, I'm starving. I'm bored to death. School is the worst thing ever. And the last one is symbolism. Symbolism is when an object represents a bigger, more meaningful idea. For example is the flag represents a freedom. The color red sometimes represents anger. And the number 12 represents Seahawks fans. Okay, that's all that I can explain about poems. If I had a mistake, I'm so sorry. The last I say thank you so much and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.